Yes, so now I'm in the role of Daniel. Daniel is from Ørsted. He is our project manager, doing very well in the DecomBlades project. But yeah, the DecomBlades project is a 3-year research and innovation project. It began in January 2021 and is funded by Innovation Fund Denmark. In the coming slides, I will walk through the challenges and the opportunities that we are addressing within this project. That is to establish viable, sustainable value chains for recycling to commissioning wind turbine blades within the circular economy. Yes, that's a wind turbine blade. But before we dive into the blade recycling, I will give a brief introduction about what a wind turbine blade is. For those who are not very familiar in the wind power industry, on a wind turbine there are 3 blades. The blades makes the rotor, and the blades, they are very large and just becoming larger and larger. They are aerodynamic structures designed to capture the most possible energy from the wind. These blades, they are made to last for more than 20 years in all sorts of extreme weather conditions. That is both onshore and offshore. And at the same time, they need to be strong and also as light as possible. And to achieve this performance, blades are made of from composite materials, which is also a common material used in other sectors like boat construction materials and aerospace. Composite materials are excellent for delivering a long life and performance of the blade, but they also are very difficult to separate at the end of life and recycle. And that leads up to the focus of this DecomBlades project. Yes, the wind turbine blade recycling, a challenge and an opportunity. The oldest wind turbine blades or turbines are reaching their end of life. Some of them are life extended, while others will be decommissioned during the next few years. With more than 90% installed capacity globally, the onshore industry faces the biggest decommissioning and recycling challenge in the short term. The offshore wind energy industry took off approximately 20 years ago and therefore will not face the challenge on a large scale until after approximately 2030. The magnitude of the recycling challenge is only the beginning to surface. It's only beginning to surface. According to Wind Europe, in Europe, decommissioning blades material will rise up to 350 tons, as you can see on this chart here, in 2030, and that is up from 10,000 tons today. As you can see on the chart, the blades are distributed across Europe. However, Germany, Denmark and Spain in particular will experience the largest volumes of blade material in short term. The wind energy industry is committed to finding a sustainable way to dispose of these decommissioned wind turbines with respect for the environment, health and safety of workers, energy consumption and cost, and we don't have recycling process solutions yet. People and governments around the world are calling for companies to stop sending materials to landfills, yet today landfill and incineration are often the only available options for decommissioning blades. This material, if it cannot be recycled or reused, represent a loss of resources. This new material stream can be seen as both a challenge to recycle, but also an opportunity to establish a recycling industry that can handle the materials from blades as well from other composite material streams. Yes, as told before, composite recycling is not just a wind industry challenge, it's a cross-sector challenge. The DecomBlades project focuses on wind turbine blades, but it should be noted that it is only estimated, the material is only estimated to be 10% of the total composite material reaching end of life in 2025. Composite recycling is not just a wind industry challenge, it's a cross-sector challenge. Yes, in the DecomBlades project that draws on expertise across the value chain, as you can see on the logos on the right side, these are the partners in the consortium. Yes, in the project we want to address both the challenges and the opportunities that come from establishing large-scale recycling solutions for blades and other composite materials. This means there needs to be an infrastructure available for handling the decommissioned blades, as well as a market for the materials that come out of the recycling processes. Each partner in the DecomBlades project brings its own expertise to play towards this common goal of scaling up sustainable recycling solutions. We brought together 10 partners that represent the value chain required to establish a recycling industry for composite materials from supply to processing to implementation. From the wind energy industry, partners bring knowledge of the locations, materials, design of blades. We can support the recycling industry with a better understanding of the material streams they will need to handle the incoming in the coming years. The industrial partners brings expertise in 3 promising solutions for processing composite materials. We have the mechanical grinding, the pyrolysis, and cement co-processing. Within DecomBlades, they will further develop their knowledge and business case for scaling up these technologies. It's also essential that these value chains are truly sustainable in every sense of the work, from a cost perspective as well as an environmental perspective. University partners will bring academic rigor to assessing the value chains from a techno-economic and life cycle perspective, as well as providing analysis of the material flows and analysis of the output of the recycling that will support the recycling industries in building their business plans and finding uses for the outputs of the recycling processes. Yes, the DecomBlades partners share a common vision, with partners coming from across different industries and academia. The success of DecomBlades projects relies on the consortium's common vision, goal, and clear objectives. The vision of the DecomBlades project is to enable a fully sustainable wind power and to support the development of Danish industries to become leaders in recycling polymer composites in wind turbine blades. The solutions developed and demonstrated within the project will support a circular economy approach to composite materials within the viable value chains. In the following slide, I'll share more about how the DecomBlades project is working to achieve our vision and objectives. So, why is there not already a value chain for blade recycling? Firstly, because composite materials from blades, as from other industries, is in general regarded as difficult to reuse, low value and unproblematic to put in landfill. It is not causing any environmental threat by being in landfill, and is as a virgin composite materials as relatively cheap and easily accessible. There has so far not been any drivers for developing recycling solutions. It's also a challenge that the material itself is difficult to reuse, as it is rather unhomogeneous. And here's a picture of a wind turbine blade that has been through a threading machine. To the left, you can see a close-up of a threading material held in a gloved hands, and to the right you can see a larger amount. Notice the boot at the right side and legs at the back. As you can see, the output of such a threading process is not uniform. The large brown stick-like object is a glass fiber, as are the many smaller sticks stick-like objects. Then there is more shell-like glass fiber, the carbon fibers, and so on. This variation is perhaps the challenge which is the easiest to visualize, but now we'll try to give an overview of the challenges we will address in the DecomBlades. Yes. 1. What are the volumes and the materials, and what materials can recycling companies expect in the wind turbine blade material stream in the coming years? While the volume of decommissioned blade material is rising, it's actually a smaller volume compared to other composite material streams. Without sufficient and predictable volumes of materials, it is difficult for recycling companies to justify investments in facilities to process blade materials. In DecomBlade, partners will address the barrier by increasing understanding of the material flows as well as by developing product disposal specifications. These product disposal specifications are already accessible, the first of them on our DecomBlades website, decomblades.dk. How can this blade material be transported and processed in an optimal way? The composite material processing technology selected by DecomBlades, cement production process, pyrolysis, and mechanical shredding are considered viable and technologically developed. The outputs of the recycling processes represent a potential resource within a circular economy, but there needs to be customers for these recycled materials, which will need to meet their needs in terms of quality and consistency in the recycled materials to receive. The following slide will describe the 3 technologies that DecomBlades will focus on as a promising solution in this value chain. Yes, how sustainable is the value chain? From both a cost, climate, and environmental perspective, today landfill is often the only viable solution for disposing a decommissioned blade, so alternative solutions should be compared to this baseline on both their cost and life cycle impacts, in pursuit of the recycling solutions that are sustainable in the long term. DecomBlade partners will conduct a life cycle analysis and techno-economic analysis to assess the sustainability of the proposed solutions, consider CO2 equivalence and environment. Yes. What comes next for DecomBlades projects? The DecomBlades project is off to a running start, with the blade manufacturers within the project providing materials to recycling partners to be processed by partners and used in their tests, and with the university teams working closely with all partners to capture data as inputs to the analysis of the materials, processes, and the value chains. However, the DecomBlades project is still in the early stages, so stay tuned in the coming years of the project for updates on our progress toward our common vision, establishing viable value chains for recycling wind turbine blades on an international scale. Yes, we have, as I told you before, this website, decomblades.dk. You can also sign up for a newsletter there, so we'll get the news on this progress of the project. Even as we work together within the DecomBlades consortium, the basis for commercialization blade recycling solutions, stakeholders outside the projects also play a role in achieving our vision, and that's also why you are here today. We need the whole value chain together. This will be a new business in the future. So everybody, of course, invited to come with their input and to get knowledge from the project. Yes. Both the different technologies will be represented here later today, so I will not dive into those. I will just end here by saying that you can send a mail to me, tva energycluster.dk, if you have any questions to Daniel. Now you got his presentation as good as I could. If there's any questions, I will help you elaborate on this. Yes, that was it from me now. Next up is Stefan Couture. How do you say that? Couture? Couture? Yeah.
But first of all, thank you.
Welcome.